Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Legislative Lens, spotlighting state laws podcast. We're dealing with today the topic at hand is House Bill 3908, better known as Tucker's Law. Tucker's Law came at the forefront after an untimely death of a 19-year-old boy or man, excuse me, that passed away from fentanyl poisoning. And his mother, alongside with many other parents, fought for this legislation to get passed so that there is more education in the education of fentanyl and how it can impact your life. Um, Fentanyl is a growing pandemic in this country, worse than heroin, worse than cocaine. It is taking the lives of young people, old people, everyone in between, and it's an unfortunate thing. But at the forefront here is a law called Tucker's Law, or better known as House Bill 3908. And at this, how this came about was unfortunately untimely death of a 19-year-old man who purchased a pill that was to believe to be laced with fentanyl. And so, what this law does is that it requires all municipalities and all public schools and every school across the state to have a fentanyl prevention and awareness education a part of their curriculum. Um, so at the forefront here, it is signed into law by Greg Abbott. A course for students in grade 6 through grade 12 would be implemented for no more than 10 hours of education through the school year. It would also include a poisoning awareness week. Okay. Very, very important, I think, for the growing population in Texas, but also, you know, generational gap here. Fentanyl as a whole has killed more people than COVID times two on a yearly basis. And there's a lot more funding going into COVID prevention than there is with fentanyl. And the key issue at its core here is kids will be experimenting with drugs from now until the end of time. They always will. Just how it is. It's an unfortunate thing that they do, but in this case, a young man bought a pill that he thought was one thing, and a drug dealer bought another thing. Another part of this, I would say, battle with fentanyl, and we have seen it here in Texas, is that if you are responsible for a death of an overdose of fentanyl, you will be charged with murder. And that's a very key thing. This host can go back and forth about his opinions, and I won't. But this is a very important law. I think it's very important to educate young people about the uses of fentanyl and how it can really gravely change your life. All it takes is a little bit, and it can kill you. And it's very, very unfortunate. But I want to take this time to say thank you to Stephanie Turner, who brought this law into to really the cause of and fighting a cause that was worth fighting for. Obviously, I don't think any family wants to see or hear the words that their sons passed away earlier than they expect. That's a really difficult process and difficult scenario to deal with. So this law really at its forefront deals with the education part. So hopefully through education and a yearly education from grades 6 through 12, which is around the ages of 12, 13, I think, all the way to seniors in high school, can get, educated on how this particular drug can drastically affect your life. And if you need any more research, you can go to Texas Against Fentanyl. You can go through many other research proposals that are out there about the drug of fentanyl. But fentanyl is a pandemic worse than COVID, and it's killing young people that it shouldn't be killing. So this topic's a hard one. It is a requirement, but it's also another key thing that Texas did, like I mentioned, that if you are responsible for a person overdosing on fentanyl, if you are a drug dealer or you are a person pushing that fentanyl to the streets, you will be charged with murder. That is another law that passed as well in Texas. But that being said, I appreciate the listen as always. Thank you for your time. Hope everyone has a great day. Feel free to download and listen across all podcasting platforms, as well as continue our conversation on social media. I appreciate for your time.